Yeah, this video is going to be about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I'm going to get into Mike Tyson gets really pissed off during a news conference, and God, he looked like his younger self, man, when he got angry, man. You seen the fire come out in him. But also, I'm going to touch on Jake Paul's mistakes that he's making, and funny too, not funny, but he corrects his own mistakes as he's watching his sparring footage. And I don't want to wreck it for you guys. I want you guys to watch the footage and see it for yourself. But Jake Paul is aware of the mistakes he's making. Now, listen, when a fighter makes mistakes and they've had 10 pro fights, I think he's 9-1 under bad habits. As soon as they get hit, is when all the new training goes out the window. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Jake Paul, but I'm saying it could happen to him. And it generally does happen to fighters because very few fighters could correct their mistakes once they've not learned the sound rudiments of boxing taught to them properly from like Canelo Alvarez was taught properly from a teenager up until his pro career. So he was trained correctly, and as a result, look, he doesn't hardly have any bad habits. You know, not that he doesn't have any bad habits, but he hardly has any. And Jake Paul has some bad habits of dropping his hands, and he's aware of these habits. And is he able to correct these habits during the fight? Well, we're gonna see. Let's get. I got a couple good videos for you guys.
I'm gonna kind of just let this play. I haven't like really watched this. My jabs in there. All right. I'm working the jab. I'm gonna kind of just let this play. I haven't like really watched this. My jabs in there. This guy is a pro fighter. He has like 1 or 2 fights, nothing serious. You hear Logan in here. We're exchanging, going back and forth. Jab, jab, punch, punch. Pop, 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 pop. Letting that right hand go a little bit. This guy was having a lot of pressure. The reason I wanted to show you guys this sparring footage is because Gibbs, you know, we've all seen Gibbs fight, and he just moves forward, advances forward, puts pressure on, and that's similar to like what this guy is doing, just moving forward, throwing wild punches. So that's why I kind of wanted to show you guys this sparring footage. But this guy, interestingly enough, like fights similar to Gibbs, like bouncing in, bouncing in, bouncing in. Hook. We're working here. Ooh, uppercut jab. Hook, hook, jab. Yeah, I was getting a little anxious here. You hear my coach yelling. This guy trips me. Yeah, I was getting a little excited. This is the first round here too, so we're just feeling each other out still, trying to figure out what's going on. My jab was really working. That right hand. Hey, what the fuck you going, man? Jab. So yeah, this guy is coming in like Gib, just lots of pressure. I think when Gib fought Jay Swingler, you know, Jay just didn't really know how to deal with the pressure. He kind of just panicked and sat against the ropes. That's the end of round 1. We're gonna go to round 2 here. Guys, I have a confession. This sparring footage is from when I was getting ready to fight Deji. So this is like a year and a half old. I'm obviously not gonna show you guys any new sparring footage. That would just be stupid. But this is from August of when I was fighting Deji. So this is like really old. And I'm kind of like watching my old like bad habits and seeing like the progression of like what and how much better I've gotten. So I'm gonna kind of critique it from like where I'm at now. Like I was very anxious all the time when I would fight. Like I wasn't ever like relaxed. Everything was just like oh, scared, jump back, scared, jump back. Like anytime someone would throw a punch, I would just get anxious and like kind of move away. Similar to how Logan fought against KSI recently. He was just getting super anxious and like moving away versus going into the fight, going into the war, going for the uppercut. And also like this, like how I used to fight, like with my hands down, which like
Notice Jake Paul said, I'm dropping my hands, and notice how I've been dropping my hands. So he is aware that he's been making those mistakes. Now, he's corrected those mistakes in training, but as soon as you get hit, all the corrections seem to go out the window with fighters. I've been training fighters over 30 years of my life, and I've known one guy in 30 years to make corrections and stick with them once he learned the wrong way. And I had to teach him. I had to turn him around from southpaw to orthodox and retrain everything that he was taught. And it was a nightmare to do that, especially the footwork. I hate teaching footwork, and footwork is the hardest thing to teach. But Jake Paul is aware of his hands being dropped. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show you from. He's aware that he's dropping his hands, and he's saying that he's making corrections to those mistakes. And we're going to see come fight night, because this fight will not go past 2 rounds or 3 rounds at the most. Somebody's going to catch somebody, and also, what you have to watch out for is if Mike Tyson gets hit really hard and he gets a flurry landed on him really good, the ref is going to be overly protective, because God forbid Mike ended up in a coma or dead. The Texas Athletic Commission would be sued, the daylights out of them. So they don't want that to happen. Plus, they want to look out for Mike's safety, and they will put an early stoppage to it. So Mike needs to be careful of that, and he needs to get with it. All right.
Right here.
Hi, my name is Meredith Yeomans. I'm with KXAS, the NBC5 station here in Dallas. The question is for Mike. Jake can answer as well if you'd like. How do you respond to people who are critical about this fight happening in the first place, given your differences, particularly your age, which so many people are quick to point out?
Say that again, please.
How do you respond to people who are critical about this fight taking place in the first place at all because of your differences, particularly your age?
Well, I don't see too many people critical about it. Look at this. Ha 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 ha.
Critics, I mean.
Excuse me?
Critics, people
Who?
in the industry.
Tell me who. Name it somebody.
Folks.
You? Who?
No, folks who say it. Thanks.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Right here in the hat.
Jacob Dedamore with the ticket in Dallas. My question's for Jake. Jake, you say you want to be a serious boxer and you want to be a contender and be a title holder. So then when in your career are you going to actually fight a contender in your weight class and not do gimmick fights?
I think he just called Mike Tyson a gimmick.
Mike Tyson's 58 years old, or will be at the time of the fight, yes.
So
as much as I
fight him?
respect Mike Tyson
Will you
and
fight
his...
him?
What did you just call me again?
I didn't call you anything.
What did you call me?
I didn't call you anything.
It's been 4 years in this sport, and I've done more to it than any boxer in the history of the sport. So in due time, sir, I will be fighting for a world championship, and I will be shutting you the fuck up and making you eat your own words, just like the rest of these fucking punks.